Hey guys, it's Talking Sundash with another game of Geometry Dash. We're here to suffer, we're here to play gauntlets. And then we'll do some requests or something if somebody shows up, which they might, and they might not. You never know how things are going to go on the internet. We're just going to play this level. It's called Rising. It says it is 4 stars. We haven't been here before. We'll see how hard it is. I'm not very good, of course, but that doesn't matter. We'll just go to practice mode, because, you know. Because if you're not good like me... the button got stuck. Oh, you're just not supposed to jump there. I see. And then a ship part. Cool. And then an easy ship part. And then a bunch of nothing. Ah. The background fooled me. You gotta time that better. This level doesn't seem too bad. It shouldn't take too many attempts. Sometimes the level can be like, they'll say it's not very hard, and then you'll still play it, and you're like, wait, how am I supposed to do this? But this all seems like, you know, you don't gotta like really remember it or anything. We should just be able to pop in and get it done. I say that as I jump right into a thing. Hey, CGBing. How's it going? So you haven't been in chat in a while? Well, welcome back. I'm sure you've had things to do, and it is good to see you again. Alright. I'm doing just fine. I've been playing like... Wow, the button's really stuck. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've just been playing lots of different games. It's been very satisfying. And, you know, working and everything. Hello, Nomex Geometry Dash person. Welcome. We're totally gonna crush this level. It's got 4 difficulty points, according to the thing. A yellow face. I'm not very good, but this level's not super hard. It's just like the second one in this gauntlet. I bet we'll get it this time. We just ran through it on practice. It didn't seem like there were really any parts that would be too tricky. Like a proper normal level, this is what I thought the game was going to be whenever I started, right? Until I saw more of what is possible. Not like that. Alright, let's try that again. One more time with feeling. So, did give it a Minecraft shoots? Yeah, I've been, been playing Minecraft. I've been playing Total War Warhammer. I've been playing Terraria again. I'm, started my second Undertale playthrough ever. We're gonna... I jumped again. Why? We're gonna do the back half of that today, because I did like 4 hours of it the other day. But finally playing more than one game at a time. And of course plenty of Minecraft. When you don't do anything besides go to work, you've got plenty of time to play lots of different games. It's all just a matter of focus. But I've been like just playing so much Total War though, because I love Total War Warhammer. I just never streamed it until somewhat recently. So on my days off, sometimes I'll just crunch out like 10 hours of it. I'm so bad, but it doesn't matter. I love it. Even when I lose everything because I'm terrible, I'm still like happy that I'm playing it. There we go. There we go. You're making an XL level that's 83 minutes? Oh, man. No, a friend of the channel called Bouncy Block. He was playing this one really long one called Eon, I think it is. And it was, you've probably heard it. Everybody that I talk to about Geometry Dash knows so much more than I do, but it was like a super, super long level, and I don't know if he's beaten it yet. I watched a couple of his devastating things. Yeah, he's a super cool dude. He's helped me out a lot with my my play and stuff. There was once upon a time all right, let's see if we can listen to this or not. Once upon a time, I didn't know how to work the practice mode properly, and I didn't even know he was a figure, right? He was just a dude in my chat being nice, and then he clipped the part of the level so that I could practice on it because he knew that I was getting frustrated. And that was just a really nice thing of him to do. But yeah, he's got his own things always going on, but he's around sometimes. But I know he was playing Eon. I watched him play it a couple times. Have I ever given anybody mod? Actually, he's a mod here. And then I have another mod called Anosa, who's around sometimes. And then I have a mod in a trench coat who's not labeled as a mod, but if anything is ever needed, then I'm sure they'll step up. Alright. Oh, okay. Much faster there. Got it. We'll go into practice mode if we can't get it after this, but maybe it'll be sight readable-ish. I mean, even for a guy like me who can't play with... Or we could not jump there. Okay, let's just do practice mode. There's no point in drawing it out on the offhand chance that I won't behave like that. But no, I'm not very popular, right? So I don't often have an occasion to need a moderator happily. But sometimes a lot of people randomly show up and things can get a little rowdy. But usually it's a small crowd here. Okay. 3 in quick succession. Nope, even quicker than that. Okay, we need to back up there because I don't even know how we got to there. Not like that. Or like that. Oh, interesting. Not there. You jump on that block and then... Okay. Alright. Oh, I don't... Oh, I see it now. I'm I don't get it. This green and yellow is always tough for me to tell. I'm not colorblind. I think I need glasses, though. Which would make me look so awesome. It would make me look like the whole Groucho Marx disguise. Because I already have a nose, and I already have eyebrows, and I have this mustache. And then with glasses, I would look like a disguise. Which, of course, I am one. This person you see in front of you, that's not really me. This is just, how I dress for Earth. I didn't always have a mustache, for example. But I was still the same guy then. Man, I don't know if we're gonna beat this one. No, I mean, I don't know if I want to dedicate the time to do it. Anyway, yeah, that's rough. How is that a 5-star one? I guess probably if you just learn the timings, it's fine. Crew 4 gives us a request. Yes, let's go there. That'll let me get out of that level, which was too hard. Even broken up with commas, which makes it so much easier to visually scan. This one is called Where Am I? Xi Jinping, I am 39 years old. I am an old person. Oh, how cool! Are we on a boat? Looks like there's a wave out there. Alright. We're trapped? Circuit blocking 10 is now speaking to us. Oh, hey Coolio. Sorry, I didn't realize the name was the different one. The C and the G or someone else. I have to find out where I am. But yes, welcome, welcome. We are... Huh. Not like that. So they built like a whole adventure game story here, which is very cool. No, I've been to a platforming level before. Whoa! Alright. That's a lot of... Sure. Oh, no, I broke it. Anyway, that's pretty annoying. Anyway, I have this thing where I always hit the wrong buttons. Oh well, that was a very cool level. I'm too stupid to play it apparently. It doesn't matter. Alright, this one's called no there. Huh. Not very good. Just gotta go in there. Oh, upside down there. Feels bad. How am I not dead? How did all of that not kill me, but that killed me? I don't understand. It's alright. This level is visually incomprehensible. Fortunately, I'm really bad. Fortunately, I'm really bad, so I might just... I don't... Am I tripping? I jump and then I run into the spike that I just jumped over. And then I don't jump and I run into the spike. So it just happens repeatedly. Got a little Pink Floyd thing going on, very nice. Oh. Curiouser and curiouser. But how did that hit me? Well, I mean, theoretically we can do it. Probably won't, but theoretically we could do it. Ha! Right into the wall. Yeah, we could do it, alright. If only I wasn't in control of my ridiculous human body here, we could do it. So bad at this game. Every game I play I'm pretty bad at, but I'm really bad at this one. No, I think I'm okay at Minecraft. I just play in a non-traditional way. Oh, you're not supposed to do that? I swear I'd been hitting both of those orbs this whole time. I don't know. That's very confusing. I did the same thing there that I did all the other times, I think. I mean, I didn't because I didn't die. That's that wall again. If I could just stop running directly into the wall. Oh, right. You went upside down there. You can probably tell from the colors, I never picked that up. Because again, there's all these other colors that are totally irrelevant. I don't know how anybody's supposed to pay attention and figure out which ones are real and which ones are there to distract you. Like, I really don't know how anyone does. Do people just look and visually figure out how to play this game? Because I just fake it. And then eventually, after like 10,000 attempts, I beat a level, and then I don't have to go back. No, it shouldn't take that many for this one. I'd give up, first of all. I'd give up way before that many on this. Yeah, whatever. Ha! Can't even do the first part of the level right. Only been here 10,000 times. Okay. Whatever. Ah, right. You know, there's no point in doing this not on practice mode. I clearly don't remember how the level goes. I very clearly do not remember anything about it. Okay. Thought we were doing the right thing there. Time to learn how to do this again? This is not the part of the level that I struggle with, traditionally. Oh, right, you can't do that. Or that. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I don't think I'm ever going to beat this level, but you know. That doesn't mean that I have anything better to do. I have a ton of things better to do. Oh, right. It's not that way. You gotta go up through the roof. Everybody knows that. Ha! That won't work either. Hey Chase, how's it going? Whoops. Funny one to miss. Sometimes I just like look ahead of the map and then I just don't, you know, like hit an orb, or I do hit an orb. Both of those are bad. You're supposed to either hit orbs or not hit orbs, but you don't want to hit the orbs you're not supposed to hit. Like that orb, or this other orb, or that orb. That orb's bad too. Normally I do okay here, but right now it's sure not going well. Okay, let's just do it wrong again. This is not even the hard part. Huh? Sure thought I hit it. All right. Ha. Clearly, I have a lot of relearning to do here. And this part's like really easy. You just have to do it just right every time. And you don't hit the last one there. You know, you're not supposed to. You do if you're me, but you're not supposed to. And then you crash there. So that's like as far as I've ever gotten on a real run, is right there. That exact spot where I crash, that's where I always crash. Because, yeah, you just die there so much if you're me. Like, I'll just die here, there, everywhere. I don't. I just die there just over and over. Hey, N4D, how's it going? Yeah, Chase. I put Path of Exile on my list. I got very into a couple of the games that I'm playing. I've been playing a lot more Hollow Knight and stuff. But yeah, I'm planning on playing it sometime in the next couple weeks, probably. But you know me. That can really change depending on, like, you know, how much fun I'm having doing something else, like losing in some game that I'm playing, like this one. You know, so not that much fun. Ah. Poor performance indeed. But yeah, no, I looked at, like, you know, the Chase, the gameplay little thing on Steam or whatever, Path of Exile. I'm like, oh, it does look pretty cool. And I like a nice little action RPG type of thing, you know. I think they're great fun, so. Why do I play so slow? I'm like, why? Why do I crash through green blockade and everywhere? He's such a good pilot, and I'm such a bad one. Okay. Oh, I didn't make progress. It's been 67%. It's been 67% for months. No, because I didn't play for probably 6 or 7 weeks, right? Maybe 8 or 9 weeks. A long time. So here you need to be straight flying more, because when you invert you need to be lower. I don't know. You can come out of the portal in wildly different positions and wildly different orientations, just depending on, you know, where you were before. Really insightful, but it's very complicated, because if you're bad like me, first of all, I'm sorry, nobody should have done that to you. Nobody should have to be as bad at me as this game, but you're never going to know how you're coming out of the portal until it happens. Fortunately, you just die if you do it wrong, so you don't have to, adjust. You just die. I don't think there's any way to not die. I think if you do it wrong, you just die, like how I'm doing here. And then you'll know that you did it right, like there, because I didn't die until slightly later. Stop accelerating before the portal. But then I crash. Okay, so I gotta stop and then immediately do it again. Okay. That's even less easy to tell what I'm doing. Alright, so I don't think I did it there. Well, maybe we can just play for 10,000 more attempts and get it by faking it. I mean, not really. I don't want to dedicate very much more of my life to this game. I don't know why people like it as much as they do. You don't even level up. No, I'm just playing. You do. I guess you do. I mean, you personally do. You get more levels that you beat. That's the same. I just it'd be nice after I beat 10 levels if then they just give me one spike for free in a run, you know. Little roguelike element. Little armor point. I'm only joking. I know they won't ever give me a spike for free. I don't want him to either. I want to keep on being a bad player. You know, that's what I want. That way I can get what I want. Terrible. Man. I can just do a thing in this game hundreds of times in a row and get not at all better at it. But then sometimes I'll eventually get better, and I can never tell which is going to happen. Because the thing is that it's a little late in the level to just try to bash through it and get a success. If it was at the very beginning, sure. You don't go up there. And I'll definitely die there on a real run, like 100%. I'll die there so much. Hello, GG. Yes, thank you for your good luck wishes. I'm afraid that I don't want to like insult you. Your good luck wishes may not be powerful enough for me to beat this level, but I don't want you to take that personally if it's the case. It might take like a minor deity of luck, or at the very least someone who's got like a special ancient statue associated with luck for me to be able to beat this level. But I appreciate your good sentiments all the same. I'm having the best time just trying to get through right there repeatedly. Terrible. In 3K, we're probably around 10,000. I'm not very good. It was like more than 7,000 for me to beat Death Moon. And right around like 6,000 on Clubstep, I was hopeful that it would like all come together and I'd get better at it, but that never happened. I'll probably die there when it's the real thing too. Terrible. Crashing again. Like, no sooner do I try to get through this section like 2 times in a row, and I'm like, alright, maybe I've got it wrong. Of course, a lot of my attempts are just me making a mistake while complaining about it, so. OJ, you said you beat 9 circles of Jawbreaker, so could be Death Moon. I'm sure you could be Death Moon if you put your mind to it. After all, I've beat Death Moon. I forget the exact number off the top of my head. It's been many months since we played it. It's 7,300 and something, if memory serves, on Death Moon. Hello, Sir Meta Knight. Between you and Hollow there, you're gonna have me thinking that I'm seeing Hollow Knight in the chat repeatedly. Oh, this is new because of Hollow Knight. Ah. Yeah, I had never played Hollow Knight until just like a few months ago. And I got like the vessel ending at like 47%, but since then I've been hacking away and playing some more. Like last night we got the Shade Cloak and fought Lost Ken and Schrader Lord. So that was fun. Everybody gets mad at me when they watch me because I'm not very good. I don't use spells, and they get upset that I don't have very many charms. But I still make it work. Yeah, I think we're at like 57% or so right now. Because I didn't even do like the second Hornet fight before I had beaten the game. People were saying that I took like a non-traditional route through it, but then I figured it could annoy everybody because I could like play Hollow Knight and then like finish it and then immediately get to play the sequel if I wanted, and everybody else would have had to wait. Alright, do I fall through there? I don't remember. No, I was having fun. I love Hollow Knight boss fights. Because, like, look, Hollow Knight, the game, is so fun, but I get really annoyed when I get lost, or, like, when I have to travel someplace, or when there's, like, a wall that I can't get through, and then I have to walk back where I just walked through. That bothers me. But I love a Hollow Knight boss fight. Like, I'll bash my head against them forever, because in my head, it's like, if they let me even have the fight, all I have to do is get good enough at it to execute it, and then I'll win. And that's worked so far, you know. I don't need to use fireballs or your fancy schmancy charms, you know. I can just walk in there with gumption and my nail and jump around, you know. Find out where the pacing is, hear the audio cues, you know, really get in there. And some people get annoyed by that, and I don't mind. A lot of people don't like me. There's one called Wheel Insufferable. It's designed by Elmer Fudd. No, that's mean. Elmer Fudd wouldn't do that. He would design a level called Wabbit Season. I crashed again. There's a DLC dedicated to boss rushes. I bet I'd do bad at it, but no, the boss fights are so fun. Because the movement in Hollow Knight is just wonderful, because it's so responsive even when you're in the air. And just like having dynamic button pressing for like just the way that you jump and move and can just like, you feel like a real swordsman. I know that's not how fighting with swords is in real life. I don't do it myself, but I have a fairly close friend who, you know, he goes to the festivals and fights with swords and stuff for fun. So I get a lot of speeches about how sword fighting works, and it's not like Hollow Knight. It's not that graceful, but it feels like how being a hero should feel when you're in a sword fight in Hollow Knight. And so I'm like, why would I become a wizard when I'm clearly the greatest nailsman of all time? Ha ha! If that happened on the real thing, I would just cry. Hey, Four Rover. How are you? This part right here, this is where I gave up on Clubstep in the first place. Long ago. And went back to beating, like, the insane levels of the game. And doing other stuff is because of this part right here. On practice mode. I didn't even finish practice mode. I think I spent like 2,000 attempts on practice mode on Clubstep just trying to get to the end of practice mode. Do I play with keyboard or mouse? Neither. I play with an Xbox controller. You say you're feeling sick since like 3 days ago? I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get to feeling better soon. I kind of wish I had never beat Shiver, because Shiver was so nice to look at. And I could have just been playing Shiver forever. I mean, Death Moon was nice too. I like a good black and red aesthetic, who doesn't? But Shiver was so pretty. I use A. I have like nerve problems with my hands. I had surgeries a couple years ago and stuff. So there's certain like motions where it's flexing the wrist, and I can't do them like repetitively, basically at all. I mean, I can do like some, like a couple hundred of them, but not like the thousands you would need to do. So like I can play a game on mouse, but I can't like click 80 times a minute, let alone a couple hundred times a minute with my index finger. It'll make my stuff go numb. This is surgery related to the WoW days. The doctor was careful not to blame anything in specific. Carpal tunnel's complicated. I played a ton of WoW. I also like, there's a genetic load. I've got like relatively thin wrists, I guess, on the inside, where the nerve goes through. But yeah. So basically, if you look at your wrist and you can like see like tendons moving in the middle, not on like the side by your thumb, but any of the ones in the middle, that is like bad. So if you like move your index finger down, you'll see it flexing through the medial nerve, and that means I can't do it. If you don't have it going into the portal, then you'll lose the speed of like how it feels going into it. I think it matters, because otherwise your timing, right, when you get to that point, it'd be better to have it even further back. But yeah, like I also used to like punch punching bags a whole lot whenever I was younger, like a whole lot. I was in very good shape as a young man. I've just I work, with my hands. When you're a cook, you're always gripping things and pulling things apart and holding on to knife blades or whatever. But it could have been all the years of playing games with a rumble pack, I can't play anything with the rumble thing. It makes my hands go very numb very quickly. But like anything like that, like I can't like mow the yard or anything anymore. But it was super bad before I got my hands fixed. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. But they're very much better now, So having to play video games with unideal inputs is a price that I'm not too unwilling to pay. And I really love like strategy and role-playing games and stuff, so even with like fairly limited hand mobility, I can still play most of the things that I love. Posty sacks to maintain velocity with the checkpoints. I see. Yeah, I've got like a mod, but it was mainly just for like practice music on the rare events that the music is okay for YouTube. But that's an even worse checkpoint. It's got like coyote time on the wall. Whatever. It's an even worse checkpoint. How did I manage it? It's all over the place. Click between frames. And that's where for people have strong opinions, that makes sense. You know, a lot of groups have a thing that you just can't talk about. For example, if you like Edgar Allan Poe, there's a thing you can't talk about. Everybody knows what it is. We don't talk about it. At like real life groups of Edgar Allan Poe people that hang out, that's a thing. Y'all may not know, but that's totally a thing. But like, there's usually like a rule where like we don't talk about it. And that's just for like, you know, one of the premier American artists, let alone a video game with millions of people that care about it. There's a creator made a very hard level and made a detector that made it turn off. That's pretty funny. Champion level hating. Hey, Rainfall. Ah, so a raging current controversy, I see. In GoldenEye, once they figured out if you looked down, you could walk faster. That sounds like I'm joking, but it's all true. It really caused a stir. Its own fascinating topic. Look Down in GoldenEye was discovered because an old man was like sharing his times on a forum, and people were like, how could this dude's times be that good? He doesn't know what he's talking about. And then he like described what he did, and then people realized if you looked down, then like you wouldn't load in as many like sprites and stuff. Like guards and whatever wouldn't come into the game, and because it was on the N64, that meant that you could like physically get more frames out of the game, and thus like you could run faster because it wouldn't have to populate this screen with dudes that were doing actions. It doesn't save a lot of time. 1 or 2 seconds per minute. So a ton of time. Yeah, so if you watch a GoldenEye speedrun, plenty of times they're like looking at the map, but tons of times you'll just be like looking at the ground. You have to know like where your angles are and where you turn. So like very frequently on a lot of levels, you only look around like a couple of times at all. But it's not like the easiest thing to do and still get to where you're going. You know, it's like anything else. It's a little tricky. Like, once I got it right on this one level, you know, I got my time down from like 28 seconds to 27. But if I want to get those other 5 seconds, I've got to execute all the other stuff you want to do, right? And, well, that's harder. The level I'm thinking of called Runway, you have to like throw grenades up into the air so that they'll fall behind you so that you can get the boost from the grenade falling in the explosion because you run a little faster when you get boosted, right? But there's also like a couple seconds of movement that I can do better. Am I still taking those suggestions? Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we're ever gonna beat Clubstep. Look, if you know, I'm just so bad. Because even if I ever get here, which I never have, we're just gonna fail at this part for another like 10,000 things. Yeah. 9,536 total attempts. Alright, Coolio, let's play this level. 1113013. Yeah, well, I've beat like 6 demons total. Is it 6 or is it 5? I don't remember. Maybe it's just 5. Lightning Road, Nightmare, Platinum Adventure, Shiver, Death Moon, so just 5. Okay. Because I got annoyed with electrodynamics and stuff, and I was like, I don't even want to play these insane levels. You know, if I'm going to be playing something that's this annoying, I should play a demon so that I'll be able to say I beat a demon, right? I really like this color palette. It reminds me of this Tetris level, right? The blue did anyway. Oh. Oh no! I can totally see that, yeah. And certainly I focus considerably less whenever I'm on practice mode than if I'm really playing, you know. I'll just, like, complain and complain, which, while I might complain in a real match, I'm not gonna just, like, you know, be at 40% complaining about something. Wait, I thought I put it on practice mode. I'm an idiot. I've been trying to place diamonds. I couldn't see them. Huh. Not like that. No. 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 How do I do that fast enough? No. I don't get it. Oh, I'm just not supposed to try to hit any of them. I see. Oh, well that simplifies it. They certainly fooled me. Like, in a game like Geometry Dash, where the only information you have about what you're supposed to do is what you see, it just seems, like, very cruel to put stuff that you're not supposed to care about on the screen to me. I did it again. Like, even after learning they're fake, I still can't help but look at them and think that they're honest. Now I'm thinking that all this stuff is fake that I'm supposed to go to. The deception, the lies! Oh, this thing. Well, good news. We're gonna die a lot there. Even if I knew what to do here, I would just die. Nope, can't go over it. Sure. No. Okay. Yeah, this is my least favorite thing. And this is my favorite thing! I love the spider, and I love my Sir Green Blockington skin with the spider. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, exactly. And it's got the light mode and the dark mode for like what's fatal, what you can stand on, what's... I think it's a very cool aesthetic. I actually really like this sort of cityscape in the background. This is a cool level. Because, you know, like, it's got a really interesting sort of visual structure to it on top of the gameplay being totally fine. I mean, like, I'm bad, but I'm sure, like, a decent player could do this without dying all the time. Hello, Violet. How are you? I'm doing alright. We're just failing. Just failing at this a little bit. A palate cleanse from failing at Clubstep. And then... So that's like... the practice mode. And then it'll change... when we get further? I don't know. We never will. Or like they're gonna make me get far enough in the level to see that it's different? Maybe. I don't know. Have to beat the level, then die, then go to dark mode. Well, I don't know if we're gonna beat it. We'll try. That was weird. It said in a white script that was very faintly visible, hitbox moment. The button's stuck. It didn't hit. Terrible. That's fine too. That's good. You know, just die on the yellow orb there. The one that literally everybody knows you don't hit. It's fine. It's cool. Awful. Yeah, when I was playing Deathman for sure. You said it's cool, man, like you'd be playing a game like this. Like an old person who loves books. Well, you know, I still, I like a good challenge. I crave the tranquility of repetition. That said, I know there are some people that like only play this game, and even if I had functioning hands, I don't know if I could do that. I need more story in the games that I play, like that I just really dig into. Whether or not it's in the game, just like if I have the ability to tell my own story about how things are going, that's fine too. But in Geometry Dash, beyond like the existential misery that Sir Green Blockington is embroiled in as he perishes hundreds of thousands of times to a purpose neither he nor I can totally understand. Like, beyond that, there's not a lot going on, you know, for the story of the game. Which you might think, well, no, it's Geometry Dash. But, like, I like a good bit of story. He looks really old. Well, I am 39. It's pretty old. I think of myself as very old. I work with people that are in high school, and like you know, I know some of their parents because they are my age or slightly younger. You know, turning into an old person can happen to anyone. But if you play like a ton of Minecraft, you'll still feel a little young. Maybe. Ah, come on. How am I gonna forget to go down there? That's not where the roof is. Terrible. practice from the title. Ah, well, you know. Yeah, everyone's talked about the other old person who's bald that plays this. The EVW fellow. I heard comparisons to him as soon as I basically started playing. They're like, have you heard of him? I'm like, no, I don't know anything about Geometry Dash. They're like, well, you look just like him. I'm like, well, I'm sure I don't. And then I see a picture, and the dude doesn't even have a mustache. That's rude. I shouldn't say it so critically. He's a fine gentleman who might benefit from having a mustache. I just think everybody would be happier if they had one. My mustache made my life a lot better. Now people can't even see me at all. I'll walk around in public, cunningly concealed behind my disguise. One human nose, one human pair of eyebrows, one human mustache, and before long, no one can see you at all. Leaving you free to daydream about Minecraft or Geometry Dash or Total War or whatever else you're doing. And they'll just see a totally regular guy. A guy with a mustache. And that's who I am, right? Just a normal dude. Just a totally normal guy. That's me, alright. Nah, I'm not upset about not being a normal guy. I've had a long time to adjust. It would have been easier if they issued me a mustache whenever I was born. I could have really used a mustache in elementary school. Oh, right. I accidentally went through the coin route. Some people say it's easier, but it's not. Hey, what up, Liam? You hated Clubstep? Well, so did I, but I'm still here. Hecker and Kyler. Hey, buddy. I crashed again. Terrible. People that say the coin rights are just gaslighting. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I said. Because you take the non-coin route and you have 2 clicks in quick succession at the top for those orbs. And that's easier than... I crashed into the wall again. Feels bad. That's not how to do it. Close to beating Can't Let Go. Nice, dude. I had a heck of a time beating that level the first time I did it. I have pretty fond memories of a lot of the early levels. Not Polargeist. The yellow hurt my eyes. And then there was Jumper. Oh, Jumper. It took me 1,064 attempts to beat Jumper. This is before I embraced practice mode, so I was just like going in blind over and over and over every new segment, and then having to get to it again in order to continue past. Ah. It might be because it allows you the orbs there, but then you have to, like, time that one orb. If you take the other one, as soon as you hit there, you could just double tap really quickly, and then you're right on line. Maybe with a lot of practice, the other one could become, you know, just as easy. And it's 1 less input. Or 2 less inputs? 2 less inputs. Aww. Hashtag blows only took you 25,869 attempts. Well, you know, since we're on 9,600 attempts here, and I've already heard of Bloodlust, I think I might have even been there before. Let me tell you, I'm a little bit far from 100% on it. I've tried all kinds of levels. I tried Amethyst. I had this, like, there's this jump, maybe you've seen it. It happens right at the beginning of the level, you know, the very first jump. But if I could have gotten that one, I think I could have just gotten all the way through, right? But I just couldn't do it. Not even one time could I do that jump, but I was just sure that that was the only hard part of the level. But I couldn't prove it, because I couldn't get past that jump. You say it might be because I'm not used to doing the difficult times in Extreme Demons. I'm sure it is part of that. Orb timings, that's like my bane, right? If they're delicate, then I tend to just fail. That's why I went to Death Moon. It was like a selection curated for me by, you know, friend of the channel and moderator, Anosa. Because I was trying to find something to play that was gonna, you know, not bother me. And they were like, hey, there's this really old code, but it checks out. I didn't jump? Are you joking? I sure felt like I jumped. Black Blizzard, I've been there before. I remember it being incomprehensibly difficult. Yeah, Death Moon, that's what I liked about it. There were a lot of correct ways to do anything, especially all the wave parts, what I call the diamonds. If you're familiar with the level, you probably know what I mean. But like the diamonds with the wave parts, like that was so beautiful of a game design, right? Because there were myriad ways that any player could choose to go through it, and maybe, you know, no person would choose the exact same ones. And they were all, you know, once you found the way that worked for you, you could get it. And in a game where there's usually, it seems like there's usually just one right way to do something, even on a level that's not, like, super difficult, there only feels like there's a right way to do it, besides on, like, you know, ship timings where you can squirrel around in the air a little bit. But, like, anyway, Death Moon's a great level. Nope, I've only ever beaten easy demons. So you've beaten 3 levels and can't beat a hard Rob Top level. The Rob Top level ratings internally are very strange. Someone who knows the game better than I do could explain it. But basically, you know, there's been sort of a revision in standards internally in the community with what qualifies as what difficulty and so on. But of course, like, I don't think any of the Rob Top levels ever got recategorized. There's definitely a few at, like, the harder insane level where some people think they should have been originally rated slightly higher or not. Like, one of my demons called Lightning Road, which I did shockingly quickly, just like a couple hundred of attempts. I firmly believe it shouldn't be one. And I'm not even, like, qualified to say this level's not hard enough. But if it is that easy for me, it can't be hard enough to be a demon. Ha ha ha, terrible. You know, the UFO there, you either have it or you don't. That's all you need to know. You have to feel the heart of the cards. You have to feel the wind in little Sir Green Blockington's tiny little tufts of green hair. And if you can't, then you're gonna crash. That's all there is to it. Ah, bah. Oh yeah, Lightning Road and Nightmare. Those are my first two. And then Plaid Adventure. And then, like, Shiver. Shiver was the first one where I felt like this one deserves to be called a demon. Because Shiver's not, like, crazy, crazy hard, but, like, you're not just going to walk in and beat it either. I mean, maybe somebody will. I think the ball section in the middle of Shiver will throw even an experienced person for a loop a few times before they get it. Say the UFOs are paying you die the most here. I'll range from doing it like really well, and I'll just feel like so on when I'm doing UFO, and then sometimes it'll just be like garbage. Like sometimes you can just feel it hanging in the air, like you're holding the marionette and you're just like gently jostling up on the string, and it's just bouncing right into place, and it almost like you can almost feel it hang for a moment, like Wile E. Coyote there in the air, and you're just like, oh yes, this is perfect. And then sometimes you crash right into the wall, and you're like, well, this is different. I expected a good feeling. I feel like the coyote after he fell, not like the coyote while he was still in the air. Have I tried platformer yet? Not really. I've played a couple of the levels, like a bit. There's this one like temperature-based level that was cool, but then I gave up on it. But I haven't played any like extensively. I don't know a single platformer level like by name, even, and I can name like some other levels by name, like Clubstep, my bane, Clubstep. My madness, Clubstep. My impenetrable sadness, Clubstep. My love, my demon. I crashed again. Oh, why didn't I jump there? Yes, while people taking credit for accomplishments that they have not achieved is not ideal, the format of saying it in like what's essentially like a chat room, showing my age there with that equivalent, is like, it's not ideal. It's not as bad as formally claiming it on like, a leaderboard or something. But it's still not ideal. And look, I know more about GoldenEye than the other things I speedrun, so I'll use that comparison. If you tell people that you got, a world record on Dam, they're gonna want you to prove it. And they're not gonna want you to prove it to them, they're gonna want you to prove it to the satisfaction of the people who authenticate records. If you show me a frigate time that's a record, frigate is a notoriously cheated level in GoldenEye, and I'm gonna say, get it on the leaderboard and then I'll watch, because I'm not a mod. I am not an authenticator. But if you beat a level that you expect people to feel suspicious about, I would say, get it authenticated by the public authenticators first, and then tell people you did it. I had a person very early on come and tell me that they had beat Tidal Wave, and I didn't understand that that, like, simply wasn't true, right? And I felt very foolish afterward. But more broadly, I would say that it's like, it's important to know who you are, and that your accomplishments don't change or define who you are. They're just like little checkboxes, real or not. But our choices to deceive others, that is a real thing, and that'll follow us further than any specific deception ever could. Because not every interaction has to have a moral weight assigned, but people are going to do it. And fundamentally trying to get people to believe that you have accomplished things that you haven't done, it might make them look a little foolish, but really it makes you look callous. Like you're trying to grab emotions from somebody you haven't earned, allegedly. Again, if somebody says they beat a level like that, I just assume they haven't. Because there's a public leaderboard, and people would probably have heard of you. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. And I'm sorry if it did. I forgot to jump. Oh, over 100 people beat it? Okay, well. In any case, I dislike any time this ever comes up. I know you shouldn't carry your emotions from previous events into future ones, but it seems like every time I do a Geometry Dash stream, somebody says they've beat a thing that they definitely didn't do, and I say it out loud, and then we have to do all of this again. And if you're doing that, and again, I'm not saying you are, but it's possible that you are, consider that it sucks. And if you're not, consider that you arguing about it sucks too. Not the critical part, just claiming it. Look, if you beat Tidal Wave, if you beat Slaughterhouse, if you beat Acheron, and people don't believe you, just shut up about it, because you did. And if you didn't, then they are quite right to argue with you about it. And you are quite wrong to continue on with your deception. If you are the fastest person in your state, you don't need to prove it to anyone on the internet. Hey Tablet, how are you? Crashing again. Yeah, Coolio, for sure. Throw it at us. Alright, this one is... Three depth. Bread King? What a wonderful name. What a great name for an artist. Looks like we can't use it. It's too bad. The comments make it sound very good. Okay. Oh. Okay, you can't run into those. You can't run into any of the walls. Got it. Can I clip through the wall here? I mean, yes, but also no. Oh, that's... you can jump. Okay. The right bumper, the left bumper jumps. Well... clean. Oh no, it's not over. Oh, I thought I was doing so good. Froggy, did I read your message? Yeah, about like pushing yourself. Absolutely. I just don't want to focus more on the topic, if that's all right. But no, I don't necessarily disbelieve anyone when they have achievements. I just, you know, depending on what the claimed achievement is, the evidence that is required for it is higher. And anything that's on the demon list, I know that there's an internal way of them, like, recording it and whatever, so... Like, the first time I ever heard of Geometry Dash was from a very, very famous cheating scandal. And I would have heard of that, you know, years before I even played the game. Haha! You know, I think a lot of people have experiences like that in gaming, where, you know, you're younger and you say stuff to impress others that, you know, once you get a little bit of distance from it, you're like, man, what was even going on in my head that I said those things? Like, I don't want to use specific examples from my life, but like any young gamer, you know, I went on the internet and told, you know, untruths about my accomplishments, and it wasn't ever about, like, having a world record in something, but that wasn't really, you know, that wasn't really present in the gaming landscape whenever I was growing up anyway, you know, like, the best you could hope for was sending your times in to Nintendo Power and having them, you know, write them down. But I try to, especially when it's not a person that's, like, submitting a run to speedrun.com or whatever, I try not to be, like, too critical, because I imagine, especially in Geometry Dash, that many of the people are quite young and just, like, discovering how they want to, you know, who they're going to be, and that's tough. And that doesn't mean it makes it awesome for other people to be there while they're discovering it, but that's life, right? You know, it's that's all part of it, I suppose. You've eaten Sakabin Hill, Bloodbath, and Cataclysm. Nice, nice. I've heard of all of those, yeah. And Cobwebs, I know that one too. I don't know it personally. Sakabin Circle, Sakabin Hell. No, Sakabin Circles is the one that I know. So Sakabin Hell is almost certainly a different one. I made it through like a couple of jumps on it once. What? Okay, you can't sit still on these, maybe. Or maybe I'm supposed to go this way. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you can't sit still too long. I did it! I did it! Hooray! Oh, what a cool level. What a very, very cool level. Oh, that was on practice mode. Of course, that would be all the checkpoints. Anyway, I still feel like I did it. What a very, very cool level. Really just very interesting, right? Thanks for that submission there. Coolio. Very, very interesting. It's like, I know I say this a lot when talking about stuff, but it's like, it's so cool when people make things in Geometry Dash that don't, like, for lack of a better word, feel like they belong in Geometry Dash, right? Like, if somebody said, hey, I made this game, and they sent me that level, I'd be like, that's cool that you made it, you know, maybe keep on going with that, you know? Because, I mean, yeah, it's a good little game. But making that in Geometry Dash with, like, the restrictions of Geometry Dash is just so fascinating to me. 989. We'll try this 1261, and then we'll try the 9891. Oh, it is 1266014. That one did not work. So it's just a ton of sound effects, you say? Alright. It is called FNAF Plus. That's the, that means Five Nights at Freddy's, right? I haven't played it myself. They have like a killer in Dead by Daylight that I bought whenever it came out, and that was alright. I don't play Dead by Daylight very much anymore, but I used to. Alright. I recognize that abbreviation. This is a horror game. Oh no. Options. Ultra. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. The investigation became necessary after police failed to something Muppets. 12 o'clock a.m. Night 1. Okay. Oh, the music from the sound effects, yeah. I'm like, I downloaded the thing and then... Anyway, I'm not sure I understand. They got like some tables. I recognize some of these rooms from Dead by Daylight. If this is a puzzle, I'm not understanding it. Alright, I'm hitting buttons and nothing does anything. None of this makes any sense to me. clock is ticking now. We can't go anywhere. We can just make the sound effect happen, or not. And then make that sound effect happen, or not. Oh, that's different. Okay, so you just play for a while and then it jumps out at you and screams? How disconcerting. Anyway, none of this makes any sense to me. It's very cool that they did it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But it's cool that they did it, and I admire that. The Death Moon. The Death Moon. This isn't Death Moon. There is the Death Moon, and it is totally incomprehensible. You can't tell what's happening. This is all the things that Death Moon isn't. Flashing lights, moving environments. Death Moon remake? I don't recognize any. Oh, I fell. We have to try to do that again. Oh no, it just doesn't want you to get down there. It made a little face at you. Ah, man. Man, terrible stuff. I don't know how I ever got through that. It's like they took a level like Death Moon that you're supposed to be able to sight read. And then, like, I still don't know what's happening. It's so frustrating. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand any of this. It's a cool level. It's far beyond my abilities. Like, what's going on here? The screen moves and I hit a button because I get scared. And then I live and it makes me look like I was jumping on purpose. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was happening at all. This level's cool. It's much too difficult for me. It says it's an easy demon. I think it would take me 1,000 attempts to get to the first 10%. It was cool. I just, man, hard to play. Next up, we got this one from Froggy. The Tempest. Hey, we can listen to it. Cool. Oh, and best clear as well. Then we'll come back to this one. A hard demon. Yeah, we'll try this. Ah, look, we can jump around. Celeste? It's Celeste. I mean, it's not really Celeste, but it feels like Celeste feels. Have a big Clubstep? Nah. That's probably not gonna happen ever. Okay, so you bounce into him, and then when you get on one, that's what... Ah! Ah. How comes? Well, I mean, we've tried 9,000 times, and it hasn't happened yet. I just don't think we're ever gonna do it. It could happen. But I'm, not very good. I think I might never beat Clubstep. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't get any of the momentum I thought I was going to get there. And I didn't need it. Ah. I see. And over there to touch it, and then... bounce to that, rebounce over there, and then go... Need to hold there. Unicorn, the person who made this, is also a big fan of Celeste. Yeah, it's like it's amazing how well they nailed like the aesthetic to where I was like, oh, just like a couple things. I'm like, just this specific pixel reminds me of Celeste. I'm like, no, we don't want that. We don't want it to be there. Okay, here it is. Aww. No. Oh, well. Really painted myself into a corner there. That's not how to do it. Anyway, how cool. Put that in the old favorites list. I'm gonna want to come back to that one day. That was such a cool level. All right. This is so cool looking. I crashed again. I crashed again. Okay. Yeah, Coolio, that was very cool. Yeah, big fan of Celeste. You know, not as big as some people, but I do like it a lot. Oh my goodness, boss fight! There's a train! Oh, I love this level so much! How intense. Oh, and now we're inside the train. This is a level that I would make. Not like this well, but with a train. I like trains. My only idea for Geometry Dash level ever was like a Red Dead 2 Geometry Dash tie-in, where you were like trying to rob the train, you know, and you could like get the coins and stuff by taking alternate routes for extra treasure. But I see now that I definitely don't need to make it, because this exists, and oh man, is it ever cool! I crashed. I almost forgot that I could die. We were doing really well there for a bit. Ah. Oh, the arrows. You gotta be on the arrows. You know, it's kind of annoying how easy it is to play some levels with music. You just like hit on the beat if you don't know what's happening. Anyway, what a wonderful level. What a very cool level. Can we beat it for real? I doubt it. Haha. It's not looking so good right there. Ah, well, you know. Oh, right. Then you gotta do that. But yeah, a very awesome level. It's so, like... It's so interesting how well the music goes into it. Well, of course, I know a lot of levels probably do that, but I can actually listen to this one. You know, the copyright gods smile upon its usage. And lots of those times later, but I didn't know what was going on. I was just hitting the input, like, on the beat, and it worked. You know, maybe I didn't need to hit any buttons at all, but it worked. Oh, it fell down. Anyway. We'll come back to this someday. You say it's actually not a bad idea? Cool, cool. For my idea to wait. Totally different paths for the coins. Yeah, it's like, does what I do even matter? It's hard to say. Heyo, we got a non-copyright sound song. The best. This NCS label makes me happier than anything whenever I get a recommendation with it on. Because I'm like, yeah, I don't have to look it up. It's called A Practice Run is Recommended, Playing with Particles 2. I need to find a demon to do where I can listen to the music with it. Maybe if this one's cool, I can target doing it in the future. This was in the second NCS Gauntlet. Oh, cool, cool. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I hadn't actually heard of the thing until like a couple weeks ago. Whenever I came back and did the request thing. Oh no. Okay. Not like that. Okay, so... I don't... I'm so bad at this thing. You know, if it were possible to die at 0%, I think I'd start dying there instead, just to do worse than that last time. Really? Really? Okay. Pyramid coming out of the corner with a steel chair. I hate everything. I hate all things. Oh my absolute stars. The worst part is this is actually fun. I'm just bad. I'm like, this is cool, you know? Like, I could totally... What? What? I didn't see anything at all. I must have not had a white background. I don't... Oh, man. I am the worst. What? Sure. I hate everything. What? Like, how did I not die that time, but I died every other time? It's exactly what I did every other time. I don't... I don't know what's happening. So I was just timing my hits there and... Oh, we got like a Space Harrier thing? Oh my goodness, this is so cool. It looks like F-Zero almost. Like a... Oh no! This is so cool. Ah! And now it's very F-Zero. Oh, and then it reversed the polarity. Okay, I'm like, I had it. I don't know why. It looks like it's electrifying the walls right there, too. I don't know. I don't. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm like, I don't. Not even running into anything. I need to grab the blue circles. Anyway, it's a very cool level, but that was hurting my head. Yeah, it just, it was hurting my head. Hey, Minikman. It was very, very cool. Maybe it was the placement. I don't do well with repetitive sounds, like, at all. And so if I fail at the exact same place very quickly in succession, it is about to, like, just make me frayed. Like, if you've ever seen, like, an electrical wire just spitting out sparks, that's what it's like inside my brain whenever there's a repetitive sound. Oh yeah, the Tempest. Let's go back and lose this for more. It's a nice level, and the song's so good. I crashed. Sure, there's something there. Of course there is. I bet you could just see that with your human eyes looking at the screen. Like, where did those even come from? What? Oh, right. It does like a... It turns around. I'm like, I don't see anything... I guess the bottom of the level killed me because it flipped me over. You know, I beat it on practice, but I don't remember anything. It was just all a fluke. I think we just, like, went through that part by accident. That can happen. Terrible. The worst. Man. Feels bad. I mean, I die there all the time, but it still doesn't feel great. I'm not, like, surprised when I die at Clubstep. It's been about 10,000 times here now. But each time I'm like, really? Isn't that a little played out? Kind of mainstream. Oh, you're just gonna die on Clubstep? Oh, what's next? A peanut butter and jelly sandwich? A white shirt and a tie? You know, like, be creative. Have you ever had a friend that decided that they wanted to, like, start dressing like a cowboy? It's never happened to me, but I'm, like, so ready for it. I'm gonna make fun of them relentlessly. I'm gonna make fun of their little boots. I'm gonna make fun of their silly little hat. I work with a guy who thinks he's a cowboy, but, like, we're not on good enough friends where I can just make fun of him because he looks silly, right? You can only do that to your friends. You can't just, like, go up to some dude wearing a dumb hat and be like, hey, did you know your hat's silly? I mean, you could. You shouldn't, though. You should let people that look silly do their own thing. After all, no one comes up to me and says, your mustache is funny. I mean, they do. They're like little children, and I think it's very amusing. Because their parents are always like, oh, no. And I'm like, he's right, you know. I do look silly. And then I call them out for being liars. I'm like, is this really the example you want to set to your children? When they tell a guy with a funny mustache that it's funny and you say he didn't mean it, he meant it. I don't do that part of the interaction. I mean, it would be funny to do it, but, like, not actually funny, just funny to me. Ah! Like, they're friends are best friends, exactly. Because you don't want to just, like, rip on somebody for something they could be sensitive about. But if, like, one of my buddies starts wearing a cowboy hat, like, I've been waiting my whole life for this. Like, hey, what's up? What's up, pal? Did you get some cattle? How many head of cattle you got out there, buddy? Gotta keep the sun off of your old brow. Bum 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 bum. Wow, bad. You ever feel like Arthur Morgan from Red Dead 2, but he do himself as Arthur Morgan but beardless, you know? I had like a big, huge beard as Arthur Morgan when I played. I only played Red Dead once. I played it on stream this last year. It was a good time, a really good time. But I didn't play it like when it was new or anything. But like I let my beard grow out, and then at one point I shaved it into like this most wonderful mustache, and then I did that for a bit. But for the longest time, I was just like wild man in it. And then I don't know why it occurred to me so late. I'm like, wait, what if I get a wonderful mustache? And then oh boy, did I ever! It was everything I could have dreamed. Of course, we already, you know, Arthur Morgan already had some problems going on by that point. He couldn't really enjoy the mustache. And I die? Come on, right there. I guess I just didn't input and ran into it. That seems like something I would do. No! Why? I'm like, this is feeling smooth. We're fine. And then I realized we're not inputting. We were crashing into the wall. This boat is obviously sinking. Wow. Nope. I knew it. That second input. I could feel it right as I did. I'm like, no, you were hanging in the air gracefully. You were a leaf on the wind. How could you? But by that, I had already pressed my thumb down inexorably upon the button. My doom already assured. My reincarnation already affected. Right as I was saying, no! And yet, we've died 3 times since then, so it shows you what that's all worth. I think it sucks that all the cooler looking levels these days are all demon levels. Well, I have noticed a trend that a lot of the most interesting stuff, and certainly the stuff that seems to get the most attention from players, is stuff of higher difficulties. You know, the things that people tell me about often, or they want me to play. And yeah, I think it's a bit of a sadness. Oh wow, really botched that one. But the level that like made me kind of like think, wow, Geometry Dash is way more than I thought, was, I always forget the name of it. I should remember it. I always forget. It's We're not gonna play through it, but just no, not Verdant Landscape. I guess we did save it. Nope, I have no idea where it is. Anyway, it was this like oh, we've probably played it since then. It was like this sort of like campfire looking thing, and I hate the way that they give you to search through in this game. It's like, it doesn't matter what the name of it is, but we're gonna find it. Like, why not a long list, say, of 100 words on the screen in alphabetical order? Now I'm just annoyed that I can't find it anywhere. Anyway, I don't know what it was called. I guess I don't have it anymore. I don't remember what it was called. A Quiet Trip! I found it! Yeah. That one, and then this Rebound Ramparts, which is like, this was like, I thought this was a platformer. But like, have you guys seen this level? It's the coolest thing. You just bounce off of the walls, and it's got like this amazing sort of 16-bit aesthetic to it. And then, so instead of, you know, the verticality, like you achieve that bouncing off of each wall, and then like, you know, you unlock some things. But anyway, this, because I saw the Quiet Trip and then this Rebound Ramparts, people recommended it to me like really early on, and they would be like, so there's that, you know, and it goes up there. But this one, this would be like what comes to mind when I think like the cooler looking levels, because this level is very beautiful. Oh, this isn't the right one. This is a different level than the one I thought I was on. This one's good too. But you know, it's not that difficult. It's just, you know, this was not the level. I would not have been able to beat it. But this is another good example of how it's like not that hard of a level, but it, you know, it's got like a really interesting aesthetic thing going on that's not based on like high difficulty at all, really. You know, there's some stuff to do. I don't even know how many times you can die. Well, I die, you know, but there you go. But yeah, Rebound Ramparts. But exactly, you scale up and down without it being a platformer. You bounce off the walls, and then they have like these collectibles, right? So you can like you can bounce in certain ways to get like that copper coin, and then they have the blue coins, right? So you don't have to get it, but if you get all of them, then you unlock a thing at the top of the tower for like the completion of it or whatever, you know. Like, so here you'd have to jump down. Anyway, you know, it's a very cool level. Rebound Ramparts is the name of it. But yeah, by a guy called Sean. And anyway, those like, why can't I? Wistful Wilds. It's got to be here somewhere. Wistful Wilds. So like, this is the name. This is the level that made me say, wow, Geometry Dash is like a much more like beautiful and interesting game than I was giving it credit for. I just thought it was blocks, you know. And then like you've got this, which is not that complicated, and it's not hard. It is easy, and a lot of people would find it boring. But like, if you sit down and you see this as like your first introduction to the game, like, it'd be kind of hard to go back to all the other stuff that they expect you to look at, you know. This is just a nice, easy level that's beautifully decorated, that's got, you know, a story going on, that's got campfires and tents, you know, it's got, like, cool three-dimensional space use, you know, it's, anyway. Wistful Wilds. Maybe this time I'll remember the name of it. But anyway, a very cool level. Yes, we will check out that level now. Void Heart. Hey! I recognize this, sure, and I do. Oh, you gotta... This is so wild. Um... I don't... What? What? That don't make no sense. I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on here at all. If I just hit the buttons, then we can make it work, but I don't understand why it's that way. Lots of times I'll be playing Geometry Dash, so I'm like, okay, I get it. I can't do it, but I understand. And sometimes I'm just like, I don't even know what's happening. Like, I'll hit the same orb 8 different times and 8 different things will happen. And I'm like, I guess I just don't even know how this game works. This is a Hollow Knight level, yes. You were very astute. Anyway, it's very cool. It's very cool. I don't know what was going on there. If there are orbs and they react in unpredictable ways that are predictable to others but not to me, I usually just give up. What other games I'm planning on playing in the near future? What kind of near future? Like today? On deck, I'm planning on playing Undertale to finish up my pacifism run, my second Undertale playthrough. But I might save that for Wednesday. I don't know. I've got more Hollow Knight planned for the next couple of days. I'm not sure when. I'm gonna pick up my Terraria playthrough again. You know, I've been having a good time with it this time around and not getting too stressed out about my inability to manage the inventory. But yeah, so I mean, like, what I would call the normal, you know, of the modern era. But yeah, Hollow Knight, Undertale, Terraria, Minecraft, and Total War Warhammer. Which, I might play that tonight. I don't know how much longer campaign or start a brand new one. But you know, I'm always planting my wheat in Minecraft. It's always fun to get it to show it to new people, too, who always think that I'm, like, just a normal dude until I show them how much wheat I actually have, and then they're like, oh, why? And I'm like, oh, you want to know why? Because it's like, they get there, and they're like, oh, that's cute, you're planting a bunch of wheat, but they don't know. They don't know. Nobody would know. Why would anybody know? They wouldn't. They wouldn't assume. Yeah, well, Coolio, it's not over. I just said it was over. Like, I haven't deleted it. And we have a save right before that fight, so we're gonna keep on doing it. Like I said, we're gonna do what we can to win it. It doesn't count as save scumming when you're, like, just trying to learn. Hey, Miko, how's it going? It's been a little while. We're just failing at Clubstep. That's what's hot on the streets. Say if I struggle with chest management in Terraria, you like to organize it. Yeah, well, you know, organizing them in the first place is tough. But I've been doing better this time. As a Terraria player, you already know this. But there's that button that'll, like, put things to all the nearby chests. Which I don't even think I knew that button existed the first time. So now I've got a couple chests. They're not, like, really organized, but I've got, you know, like, all my ores in one chest, and all the other ones are not organized at all. But, you know, just doing it that way, and then with the button to stack things up, it really removes a lot of the stress, you know. I don't have to walk to each individual chest to put them in or whatever. Because you want the real fun stress of Terraria, which is everybody telling you that you're doing it wrong, and you saying, yeah, I know. I forgot to jump again. Am I going for coins? Oh, I don't think so. Indeed, Coolio. Yonbo will rise. Because even, like, the campaign's not necessarily over, right? We've got a strong ally that can help out, maybe. We could just lose all of those things in the mountains. So, like, just all the stuff that we've worked for the last 30 turns, we could just lose it. That doesn't mean we lose the game. I mean, if we destroy our enemies, we win. If, big if. Yeah, I just got to figure out what's going on in that battle. like I wasn't shocked that we lost. I was shocked that it looked so bad at the end. I thought it would have been a lot closer, but I guess that goes to show what I know. You say, how would full-time streaming feel to me? Well, I don't know. I don't think it'll ever be in the cards for me. I don't think I'll ever become popular enough where that would be an option. I think a lot of the stress, just abstractly from being a full-time streamer, would just like be having your livelihood tied to people's affection for you, which can't be good for a person psychologically. Not like I have a very healthy psychology in the first place. I don't. But you know, as I say frequently enough, like I like making these videos on the internet. I love getting to do my favorite thing, playing video games and talking about it with people that they'll want to hear me talk about it. It's so cool. I love it. But I also, like, I don't need anything from you guys, right? Like, I like your attention. I do. And I love talking with you and, like, getting your inputs on things. Like, it's great. Like, I unironically really, really enjoy the interactions with people when I play video games. But I do imagine that if I had to make people give me money or pay attention to me, or I couldn't pay my rent, that might remove a lot of how I feel about it, right? You know, like, you can remove all of the joy and beauty in something by turning it into a profit-seeking enterprise. Because, like, I have a job. I work full-time. I'm a line cook. I cook at a steakhouse. I don't make tons of money, but I get by. And, you know, I do all right. I don't have to worry whether or not I can buy ice cream. I can always buy ice cream if I want, you know. And I am not ignorant of how much of a blessing that is on, like, a world scale, right? But I don't like my job. I have to have it, and I do it, and I try to do it well. But, like, I'm not even, like, I don't even care about cooking. I cook a little bit now in my personal life, and, like, I bake wonderful cookies and bread and cheesecakes, and I make fudge and stuff. But I didn't really care about any of that before I got this job. It was just a job, you know. I work with food. I do what I have to do. And I don't know how I would feel about trying to make money doing a thing that I love and, like, want to do all the time in games. I would have to be able to make money while staying who I am, and I don't think that would happen. I don't think enough people would ever like me. No, which speaks well to their critique, you know. I'm not for everyone. My favorite steakhouse? Oh, I don't really have one. I just work at, like, you know, a place. I won't say the name, and you're not allowed to guess. But it's not like a super amazing restaurant. It's fine, you know. My parents go there. When they lived in town, they did, you know. Which they don't really go out to really ritzy places or anything. Hey Ninja Kids, you say what's the stream? We are playing Clubstep and other stuff, and, you know, just talking about things. Mainly failing at Clubstep. Yeah, well, too, like, I like to just stream what I want, you know? Like, I don't mean to brag, but YouTube tells me what people want to see. They say, hey, these are the videos that people watch. This is your viewership numbers. This is all the retention. And what people want to see is Geometry Dash. That's what people like from me. And that's, like, my least played game, basically, because I don't have generally as good a time playing Geometry Dash as I do playing a bunch of other stuff that's more story-driven, that's more narrative and emotional, that's more, you know, more cerebral and, you know, more thoughtful, with character development or, you know, those sorts of story beats, because that's what I love. I love the artistic sort of literature of video games in addition to the gameplay and everything else. The way that they're constructed to allow you to tell yourself individualized stories. The game of Pokemon, probably the best example of that to me personally. Like, every time I ever played Pokemon Red, that was the one I had on Game Boy, was Red. My best friend had Blue. You know, my character had a different tale, you know, and their adventures were colored by what happened. Even though it's the same gyms and the same Pokemon in the same order, you know, you lean onto the Fearow for one time, you know, it's just you and Fearow and your 3 Pidgeys, you know, and your Bulbasaur who's just out in the sun. And Geometry Dash doesn't really have that ability for me to tell stories about my gameplay, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, it's far and away what the viewers want the most, what I get the most eyes on and stuff, but I flatter myself that I'm not just going to do stuff that people like because they like it. I'm going to do what I like because I like it. But it is a really fun game, and people do ask for it. And I'm trying to do probably, like, you know, a request stream and playing, like, probably once a week. I'm gonna, because I'm not, like, good at scheduling anything, but I know people like to see this, so I'm gonna try to play it a little more frequently than I had been. Whenever I was grinding for Death Moon, I was playing it a lot, you know, like several hours a day sometimes. I think it took me like 20 hours total for Death Moon. No, are you joking? Jumping right through the portal. Yeah, cool. People did actually donate money when I beat Blood Moon. But they turned off my donations. I didn't do anything wrong. No one ever thinks I did. But, you know, you have to, like, verify your identity and fill out a lot of forms. And I do have my identity. I just really hate filling out forms, so I was like, what do I care about being able to get money for this? If I just don't fill out a form, then I'll never have to worry about it. Chase, you say, do I play video games off stream or just when recording? I used to play a lot of Total War Warhammer off stream. That was my off stream game that I played. And then I started streaming it, and now I don't really play anything off stream anymore. Sometimes I'll plant a little bit of wheat. I know that's like a Minecraft joke for like off-screen mining, but you know, I'll just plant wheat for 30 minutes or whatever. But usually I'm streaming whatever because, well, if it's hardcore, I have to be streaming. If I die on my hardcore world and it's not live, people will feel robbed, you know. They really like it when I die. When I shot the Ender Crystal on day 334 right in front of it and then died, people lost it. They had a great time. And of course we're on day 728 now, and it's all been streamed. But no, sometimes I think about it and I'm like, well, I might as well play it because I actually really like talking to myself when I play games. And if it's on the internet, it's not strange. I mean, not like my brother would make fun of me or whatever, and I mean, I'm at home. But it's fun for me. Because, you know, I always feel like I got these big thoughts, right? You know, and they're always struggling to get out. And there's not often a place for all of the big thoughts that I have. But, you know, when you wanna have a big thought about a video game and you're already talking about it, you can just blurt it out. You're already in the right format for it. And sometimes I say things that are like very hilarious and I think back on them like much later. Like when I was playing Red Dead and those people's house burned down and I was like, I wish they had 2 houses so I could burn down the other one. That's a funny thing and I might not have said it if I wasn't already talking. Hey KP, how's it going? Will I try out some other games, for example, Platinum Quest? I don't know if I heard of that one. I mean, I'm not always playing new stuff. I have a long backlog of games to play based on recommendations, both from people on stream and from, like, IRL friends that, you know, wanted me to play stuff. So, you know, basically everything I've played except for Total War, this whole time of being back was a recommendation, you know, like people in my sisters were telling me to play Hades. I played Terraria because one of my friends at work played it. That's why I played Dead by Daylight. I played Terraria and somebody there said, hey, you should play Celeste. And that's what got me playing Celeste. Hollow Knight, all of these were, you know, recommended by people. Geometry Dash, one of my good friends, she used to love Geometry Dash, and she was like, hey, you should play that, that would be cool. And then, she was right, you know, it was fun. Yeah, a ton of my coworkers play video games. Like, one of my buddies at work, his favorite game is Hollow Knight, so he was like, people online and offline recommended it to me, but like, really, like, he was a big reason why I played it. And like, Subnautica, I played on the recommendation of other people. Have I ever been requested to do Helldivers 2? I haven't been requested to do it. You know, I know it exists. I don't usually play multiplayer stuff, but, because like, my brother and like a bunch of people at work played Helldivers, so whenever it was the hotness, I would like, sit upstairs and boil my ramen and wash dishes and, you know, watch my brother play and stuff and think, this is really cool. But, here, before a couple weeks are out, we're going to play some Path of Exile, the first one. Because I never played that, but somebody wanted me to play that, and it seemed like it'd be up my alley. But, eventually we're going to get around to Darkest Dungeon, which was a game that I was, like, really excited for when it came out, and then I didn't have a computer that could run it. I had, like, a crummy laptop running integrated graphics, right? And the year would, like, this would have been, like, when Darkest Dungeon was fairly new, and I still tried to play it, and it just, like, overheated, and I could only play it for, like, 30 minutes at a time. But I still played it for, like, a couple hours, but somebody, like another person I know at work that's playing video games. I would say, like, half of the people at work play video games. But, like, a lot of them, I don't want to judge people, so I'm going to sound judgmental. A lot of them are, like, you know, what I would call a Call of Duty gamer. You know, they're not going to be like, oh, you played Skyrim, you know. They're like, I like playing FIFA. No, that's not fair. A lot of people like FIFA. And really, I don't know anybody that plays FIFA. They all play Madden. Sports games are fine. It's just, a sports game sort of feels to me like Geometry Dash. Like, it's good for what it is. Although in sports games you have somewhat more of an avenue to tell stories, depending on the career modes. I used to play tons of sports games once upon a time, you know, for friends and for fun. Bad. No, the best is 67%. Well, I don't even consider, like, that part we died at. That's, like, whatever. That's not even part of the real level. The real level happens at 67%. You gotta remember, I'm only casual because I've been here 10,000 times. And every time I die later than that, it looks fine before, so I just don't even get excited. Ah, really? I was in the middle of saying clean. If you heard me go a k sound, that was me going clean. And it wasn't. That's what I get for declaring victory one frame too early. I have a gaming PC. It is a beast. It's not the strongest thing that exists anymore, but it was real strong when I got it a year ago. I have a 14 series i9 and a 4080 Super. And 64 gigabytes of RAM because it was like a free upgrade from 32, not because I thought I would need it. My last machine was like a 7 series i7 and an 8 series i7 and a 2070, so this is like a tier and a half or so maybe above what that one was. But a real beast of a machine, and I used it to play Geometry Dash and vanilla settings Minecraft. Yeah, Chase, she's a brick house. You know, I still get worried when I play Total War Warhammer, though, because you can get about 9,000 models on the screen, and then, before long, like, she starts really whirring, my room gets hot. I've absolutely crashed the process on Total War a couple of times. I was playing vampires, though, so it was like, I had, I think, three whole zombie armies. So I must have had 6,000 models on the screen, maybe more. And then I was playing against, like, Scaven or something, so there might have been 12 or 13k, but it crawled to a stall. It got so hot, and then it just crashed, and I couldn't do the fight. I had to turn off the large armies. And I was like, well, I found what my computer can't do. You crashed Notepad. It's not too hard to do. You just gotta know what to say to it. Ninja Kids, you say you saw a guy get replaced. You saw a video got a guy playing Geometry Dash, and now you've been doing it for 3,000 hours. That is a lot. It's not more than I've played a game, but it's more than I've played a game that's not World of Warcraft in the modern era. My most played game on Steam is Mountain Blade Warband. I have 1,892 hours into it. That was, so I started my channel like a bit over 11 years ago, right? And that was all I did when I started. I wanted to do what I do now and play like lots of different games and talk about stuff, and instead I played the Clash of Kings mod for Mountain Blade Warband, which is like a Game of Thrones conversion mod for it. And that's all I did for YouTube, was play Mountain Blade. A great game. If you haven't played Mountain Blade Warband and you like games with, you know, knights and guys with armor and swords, it's pretty sweet. There's a sequel called Bannerlord. I never got it. It was in early access for like 10 years. The console version of Mountain Blade? I don't know. I would think that it would be very rough to do on a controller. But I've never heard of anybody doing it. I didn't really know there was a console version of it, honestly. I would say that I wouldn't, because the best thing about Mountain Blade is a very, very, like, big modding community that has lots of, like, full conversion mods, in addition to being small. You know, they'll do a whole different map. Like I said, like Game of Thrones. Like, they did the whole Game of Thrones map. They, you know, drew the pictures in. They made the art for the things. They've got it for, like, a couple of fantasy worlds and stuff. And there's a bunch of really cool things in that realm. Because I've not played Vanilla Warband. I played it for, like, 20 minutes. Talked about it on a forum I was on, and somebody recommended me the mod that I played, and then I literally, my most played game, I don't know how to play it. If you were to sit me in Vanilla Warband, I know how to do a cavalry charge, I know how to level up and recruit troops, but I don't even know the names of, like, the factions. I don't know a single name of a single faction in Warband because I, fought for the Stormlands and Renly Baratheon or Robb Stark and the Forces of the North, So, or I was Elia Lothston, the scion of the Lothston family, restored to her former home of Harrenhal, Elia Lothston the Black, that kind of thing. So I literally don't even know what the game is like, but as a stepping stone for other people's creativity, a really wonderful time. My monitor, I have a 60 hertz monitor. It's like a 4K IPS panel with a 5 millisecond thing with 60 hertz. So when I got it, I was like either a TN panel for higher refresh rate and higher megahertz, because you can get like a 1 millisecond, like 144 hertz panel maybe, but pay a little more for it, and it would be TN. And I thought like the viewing angles mattered more to me, because the IPS you get better viewing angles. At least that's for like color temperatures and stuff. That was my assessment after much agony. I don't do well with buying things. I get like paralyzed by choice. And then I'm like, you know what? I just won't get anything at all. Ah. You say check it on PC one day? Your computer's older? Well, it would, I played Mountain Blade in 2013 on an okay computer. It was fine. It wasn't amazing. Okay computer by Radiohead? Exactly. So, like, if you just have any kind of computer that came out in the last 8 years, you could almost certainly play it. But, I'm maybe not definitely, but, like, I would be surprised if you even have... Like, I know, I don't want to be like, not everybody has a dedicated graphics card, but if you have any dedicated graphics card, it should be able to do it. Did I know it affects gameplay? Yeah, I've been told there's a number of things. I'm sure it wouldn't affect my gameplay. Back when I was, like, not beating Jumper, people would be like, you should get a better monitor, you should get a Seiyo device, and then everybody else was like, this man can't beat Jumper, and you think he needs a Seiyo? And I'm like, I play on a controller! Windows 7 Aero, when Civ 5 came out, don't have a graphics card. It still might be able to do it, honestly. There's scalers for how many entities are in a battle, right? So you could do it at like 30 or all the way up to 150 or uncap it even higher, and obviously more is always better. More is always better. Yes, that's a Mean Girls musical reference. I like Mean Girls. I mean, the movie's better than the musical, but the musical's still pretty good. I saw it live when it came to Little Rock. Good time. Maybe we can order those settings? I assume so. It's not like, it's not that intensive of a game. And certainly there are, like, graphical settings to tune down, as far as, the typical grass and water reflections and whatnot, but it's very cool. Like I said, I've never played vanilla, but I can imagine what it would be like. I would probably be fine at it. The Game of Thrones mod is famous for, like, having more expensive troops and, like, less good elites than, like, you get in a lot of other mods. So, I bet I could just look at the stats and be like, okay, I'll get 80 of these guys. Because, like, I haven't played in ages, but I don't want to be like, I was good, I was okay. You don't play 1900 hours of a game and not get any good at it. Well, that's not true. I've played World of Warcraft with some real stinkers. But, you know, they were all doing their best. With 2.2, they normalized that. Yeah, I remember somebody had said something about that, but it's like, I play a lot of different games, and people are always like throwing version numbers and stuff. I know Geometry Dash 2.2, you know, there aren't that many Geometry Dash revisions. My WoW class, do you want to guess? I played Classic WoW, and then also Vanilla. But if you want to remember the most important fact about me, it's that I like bears. Paladin. I did play Holy Paladin, also. Weetromancer. No, unfortunately, I played Druid. I played Druid and Priest in Vanilla, and then I played Feral Druid and Holy Paladin in Classic. I played Paladin principally for my healer, and then, like, I just wanted to turn into a bear, and then I did, and it was great. But I spend, like, a lot of times... In WoW, it wasn't wheat, but I did pick a lot of flowers. Herbalism, you know. You run out in the world and you pick the herbs, then you make potions out of them. When I quit Classic WoW, I made, like, an Imager album of all the stuff that I was giving to, like, all my friends and the people in the guild to distribute. I was a very wealthy man, right? And I posted it, like, in the guild Discord, you know, just saying to people, like, hey, you know, here's a look inside the vault, you know. I know we're always joking about how I have so much and everybody else has so little, so here's some of my stuff. Tell me how none of them even looked at the 2nd through the 8th pages. They just looked at the first page of pictures and said, wow, that's a lot of stuff. They didn't even look at all of it. And I had to tell them, I'm like, the later pages have 0 views. And they're like, wait, there's more? I'm like, it's a whole album? That's just one character's stuff. Anyway, I picked a lot of flowers. Because somebody thinks, oh, I have a lot of stuff in WoW. And I would be like, oh, I have 2,000 of those potions. And they would think, oh, he's playing. I'm like, no, I have the number 2,000 of them. And I did, too. They're called free action potions. Collecting them was a bit of a hobby for me. No! You have to hit the 3rd one, not the 4th one, alas. Accidentally got the coin. How many hours do I have in Geometry Dash? Oh, let me check real quick, don't let me lie to you. 152. 152.6. I would have started playing in like September or October last year. I don't remember the exact date or anything. Might have been November. Because I started playing hardcore Minecraft in September, if memory serves. And I think this was sort of like around in there. Say it's gonna be crazy in here when we beat the level. Well, I mean, Coolio. If I ever beat the level. People were very hyped for Death Moon. It was a crazy time. I remember the Death Moon victory because I was just like chatting it up. I was talking about like admin type things. I was like, oh yeah, we did this thing on the blah blah blah, and then I look up, all of a sudden it's like 85%, and I'm like, wait, am I doing this right now? It was a wonderful time. So I'd said so many times, I'm like, once we get to 85 again, we're just gonna crash it all the way through. You know, we're not gonna mess up at the last like 10% thing. We're not gonna choke at the last ship on Death Moon. You know, when we get there, we're gonna get there. And yeah, the crowd went wild. It was a great time. Ah, I didn't hit the other orb. Do I think Death Moon or this level is harder? Well, Death Moon I did in 7,000 something. This one's 9,872. Could I possibly flute Clubstep? Oh, I don't think so. The 84% to the end is really tricky, right? I imagine the first time we get there, we'll just forget to jump off the false block at the end. I think that's what'll happen. Or we'll crash, like, directly in. Just directly into the wall. I don't even think we're going to get to, like, 70. I think if we get past 67, we're going to get to 68 and crash on the very next wall. Because no matter how many hundreds of times I practice that, I never do it right. I just do it right a few times in a row, and then as soon as I do leave, my brain's like, he thinks he can do it. And then it does a little dry erase board thing. It does a little spray. It wipes it away with the clean towel, leaving nothing but a little squeaky sound where all my practice used to be. Ah. Want to practice backwards? Well, because, I mean, we practiced the back half a bit earlier, really. I hate going back to practice after I've already done it in a session. Not least because this session is going to end somewhat soon. But that is good advice. I've heard that that's like a useful strategy in a lot of levels. You know, you just back it up more and more, and then whenever you get to a decent point, then you just try to link in all the last segments. You learned that from Vortrux? I've heard of this person. They're like a major figure in the community, right? Because somebody thought my man Bouncy was them, and then he had to clarify that it was like an April Fool's joke or something. Whenever they did that, which I thought that was pretty funny. This copyright free music, yeah, you know, it's part of the YouTube library. Will I open up a Discord server one day? I mean, potentially one day. The thing is like, I wouldn't want to do it unless... So I'm not going to win the lottery because I'm good at arithmetic. Not math, but arithmetic. And so I don't play the lottery. So I would have to find a lottery ticket, and it would be a winning ticket, and then I would be able to stay home all the time. And then, because I don't use a smartphone, as you may recall, and I really worry about there being like an unmoderated third-party space. Because like in the YouTube comments section, I don't have to worry. You know, YouTube will yank some people away. I don't want people to act a fool, but fundamentally, there's like an internal way for them to take care of that. But like, if I'm away at work for 12 or 14 hours and like my Discord has something bad happen in it and I can't deal with it, you know, that's not something I want to come home to. Because whenever I think about the internet, my mind just jumps to ways it could be bad for me. Ah, terrible. I said maybe someday, Rover. I said I'm a paranoid weirdo, and I'm afraid of my name being attached to anything on the internet. Because, you know, if you bring people together, you have some amount of responsibility to make sure that it's a place that's alright for people to be. And I don't have the time for that. And also, I just hate content moderation. I hate the emotional feelings that I get whenever I have to tell somebody not to do what they're doing, because, like, I hate telling people what to do. I want them to do what I want them to do without me telling them to do it, right? I don't want to tell them. Same old best. I think that's slightly further than the old 67. I knew it. I knew I would choke. Boys got no heart. Could have had class. Could have been a contender instead of a bum, which is what I am. Blah. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, a new decimal. You know, they don't give you the cool little visual effect and the sound for a new decimal. It makes it underwhelming. Ah, that's a wall. A wall made out of spike. Ah. Feels bad. Feels bad because I'm bad. Ah ha ha. So how does getting proof called work in Geometry Dash? Would this run count? Because my face is covering part of the screen. I'm just joking. I'm not going to ever have to prove to somebody I beat Clubstep. I do know my Celeste run doesn't count because my face is on the screen, but that's okay. My Celeste run's just for me, it's not for the leaderboard. But if I had submitted it, it would have been good for 5,293rd. But that's, of course, only compared to people who submitted their run. And like I said, mine wouldn't pass the proof call. Oh well. It wasn't that good of a run anyway. Only the best I'd ever done ever by 11 minutes. Clean. Clean indeed. Clean indeed. Wow, me in the past. When have you ever been so smart? Right into the ground. That's good stuff. That's good stuff right there. Mm-hmm. Ah. You say I'm decent at the game in your opinion? Well, that is nice of you to say. I'm not. I've been on this level 10,000 times. I don't mean to brag, but that's a lot of times to fail. So, you know, you pick up a little bit. Maybe like 10 or 11,000 more attempts and we can get it. Hard to say. Ha! 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 Let him clean. Indeed. Because really, the first, like, 40% is quite easy. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that. I had such a headache learning it, but... all the tricky stuff is, like, all the late-game ship things. I mean, this isn't easy, right? Good. At least I wasn't saying this part's easy. But, like, there's, like, some safe parts, and once you can, like, sort of remember where the invisible and the invisible spikes are, it's not so bad. The UFO's a little tricky, but I do good at that section. Like, you'll see me die there sometimes, but like I said on Death Moon, the UFO section isn't bad, it's fair, and if I fail, I'm not blaming it. Same with the UFO section here. Every time I do it right, I'm like, oh yeah, this is perfect. And that means whenever I do it wrong, it's because I know I'm doing it wrong. But I think the UFO is consistent here. It's the ship that I can't get consistent with. Ah, come on! The UFO, it's just... I think it's the third of the pillars. You either input once or twice, but you have to figure it out which it's gonna be, and that depends on the angle you hit the first thing at. But like, one'll work either way, but you have to figure it out just slightly before. And there's no late saves, of course. You gotta hit it or not hit it. No, with UFO, there's just sometimes just this glorious moment, like the rain coming down on a sunny day, suspended in the air there through the clouds, and it's just like you can see the beams of light, and you're like, okay, this is right where we're at, and then your UFO just gently falls right where you need it to be, and then you crash into a different wall because you were busy complimenting your own play. You know, that kind of thing. You died at 97, and your parents had to check on you. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. No, that must have been devastating. Because again, I've played 10,000 times, but I'm like an adult. I don't want to brag, but like, I get to play so many video games. Dudes, you don't even know. Sometimes I like pick on people at work that are like in high school. I'm like, oh, what's that? You had to go on a family vacation? Couldn't be me. No, I'm just kidding. I did skip the family vacation this year. Ha! That's pretty cool. That's very swag. That is very much swagger than doing it the real way. But I think it throws me off of my normal rhythm, so I don't know if we'll do it. If we ever tried to come back for coins, oh, heaven save me from ever coming back to do that. Hello, Harrisman. Best 67. Well, you know, not only was the best 67, we got it earlier in this run, too. Of course, it was a slightly better 67 than the other one. It was about 3 ship lengths longer than the other one. Theory of Everything 2. I haven't even beat Theory of Everything 2 on practice. There's this thing very early on, and it about melted my brain. I I don't mean to brag, but I am like very immature, right? And I can't take certain kinds of failure repeatedly, like in Geometry Dash. Sully, is that you? Are you bringing 6-7 into my chat, my man? I know it's not you, Sully. You've traumatized me. Yeah, you know, I work with high school kids, so I'm familiar with your hilarious slangs. What? I hit it upside down? I must have hit a jump or something weird and missed something. Anyway, I'm not saying that's never happened to me before. I sure don't remember it happening, but it must have happened a few times. Now that I'm tracing back in my mind, I remember complaining about that a couple of times. It's if you jump when those in the middle of the blues because you can miss it. Okay, the middle of the blues. In the middle of the blue bouncy ball orb things in that little corridor. I don't think I jumped, I think I was just holding the input through. Ah. Space Invaders? No, why? I know you're not supposed to hit that one. Feels bad. Ah. Terrible. I bunked my head on the top. It's like I have a very specific expectation for how the ship's gonna go in that corridor, and if I mess it up, well, it's just like making a mistake anywhere else in Geometry Dash. Tends to be fatal. Not always. Tends to be. There's not a lot of room for balancing on the knife's edge in this game. I guess in a platformer there might be more room to make a mistake and back away, but maybe not. Wow, bad, bad, bad. Hey, Orange Froggy. Yes, we're still alive, in a manner of speaking. How's progress going? 9,966 attempts. And our best is still 67, but we did get to 67% one more time. Am I aware that geo-private servers exist? Nope, I don't guess I am. I am displeased. The Orange Frog. Yeah, it's like I was supposed to end like a while ago because I was supposed to play something else today, but I keep on thinking like maybe this run will be the run, right? But my hand's starting to get a little wonky, so I'm gonna have to call it anyway. Did it again. I played with the orbs, got lost in the game. Oh, baby, baby. If I did a Geometry Dash cover song, it would be Oops, I Did It Again by Britney Spears, and it would just be a montage of me dying 10,000 times. Sunk cost fallacy for sure, for sure. You have a good day too, man. Thanks for stopping in, Ninja Kids. But it's not really a sunk cost fallacy if you're practicing. Each Geometry Dash run is not independent of the ones before. It's not like a roulette wheel. They are all a knowledge base, so when I die in this run, remember, I should have learned not to do it. Awesome! We're back to dying there again. Over and over again. Good. Alright, let's stop doing that. It doesn't work. I mean, it does. I'm just too bad. Alright, last run. Maybe we'll get it this time. But I need to get something else to eat and then figure out what I'm gonna play. Be better if I could figure it out right now, but I don't know if I want to win Undertale or fail at Total War. I guess I could do that tomorrow morning. Hey, Mr. C's World of Randomness. Alright, we'll do one more. Welcome to the stream. I was just ending it. But welcome, we're failing at Clubstep. It happens. We're right at about 10,000 attempts now. And honestly, no closer to winning than before we started playing the level at all. Alright, one more. No. Okay. But anyway. Yeah, I gotta take a break. My hand's kind of starting to hurt anyway, so I can't really keep on. But 3.5 hours is a good long session. You know, we played some requests and some gauntlets and whatever, but you know, I maybe. Yeah, 9,988 attempts. Maybe someday we'll get it, right? Maybe someday. You think it's harder than... You think Deathman's harder than Clubstep? Clubstep has a lot of fake out orbs and stuff, but anyway. Bye everyone. Yeah, I'm gonna get something to eat. I'll be back to stream something else later on tonight. Not this. It might be Undertale. It might be Total War. It might be Terraria. It might be Minecraft. I'm not sure what we're gonna play. Probably one of those. It could be Hollow Knight, actually. Probably one of those, but perhaps I'll see you guys there. Bye Coolio, bye Fordover, bye Chase, bye Petty King, bye Orange Froggy, bye Ninja Kids, bye Mr. C's World of Randomness, bye Harrisbon, bye Miko, bye Entropy, bye Tablet, bye Zeman. But yeah, everybody, bye Liam, appreciate everybody, bye KP. Take care, everyone, and I should be back on in an hour or so, maybe. I'm not sure exactly, hour and a half, you know, but perhaps I'll see you there, and if not, I hope you have an excellent rest of your night. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you've enjoyed, and perhaps I'll see you in a later stream or video. That's all I've got for you right now, so happy geometry dashing, happy Sundash, everyone, and thanks for stopping in. We're going to try to do this every Sunday for at least a couple of hours. My only scheduled thing, Geometry Sundash. I'll have to find an hour to do it if I'm going to be scheduling it in a week in advance. But anyway, so count on more Geometry Dash on Sunday. Maybe before then, but, you know, we're going to keep on cracking at it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Farewell. Adios. Adieu. Goodbye.